What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to be discussing the Kid LAROI and just talking about the official release date for 1,000 Miles, all this stuff, and I want to correct myself on a few things that I got wrong in the last video. But before we do start, I do want to give a shout out to the second channel, Complex 2. A link to that will be in the description down below. Also want to give a big shout out to all channel members. Thank you guys for supporting me. And lastly, make sure to follow the Instagram Complex Productions 999 and my Twitter at Complex Discuss. With all this being said, we're going to dive on into the video. So obviously, LAROI announced that the release date for the lead single to his upcoming album, 1,000 Miles, will be on April 22nd, this Friday, which is something that we all kind of expected that this single would release this month because his tour does start in like May, so everyone's thinking that he's going to be releasing in May, but there might be a change in those plans, which is something I want to dive into. But before we do that, I also have to clear up a couple things. So I do know that I called the album Still Kids Are Growing Up. I said that I'm pretty sure that's still the album name in the last video, but some people have informed me that this might not be the case. The album name is still up in the air, supposedly, so keep in mind that Kids Are Growing Up might not even end up being the official name for this album. It's a little confusing, I know, and it's a little weird that they're still trying to figure out the name to the album, but obviously if it's not fully done yet, that does make sense. And that was the other thing that I need to clear up. I misread or just took LAROI's tweet wrong, where I thought he was basically saying that the album was already finished, but obviously some people let me know that this wasn't the case. He was talking about singles or something else regarding the album, but not the album itself. So I just wanted to give my apologies for getting those couple things wrong when we don't fully know about those. But as for the release date, obviously we're getting the lead single in like 2 days, which gives us a good time frame that the rollout has begun. But as for the actual project itself and the second single, if we're gonna get that, it's looking like it might not be releasing in May. And the only reason why I even want to bring this up, because obviously if you guys have watched the last videos, I've completely agreed with everyone that LAROI was going to drop right before tour, which would be in like May, and that's when we would get the album, and it would be a perfect time to drop because it's a summertime album for LAROI and he can go on tour with it. But there's a few things that have obviously happened. We know that Jack Harlow has seen an insane amount of success with his single First Class, and his album is about to be releasing in May. Well, we also know that Kendrick now is going to be releasing an album for the first time in 5 years this May, and that's not even it. We know that Future's going to be releasing an album the last Friday of April. We also now know that Thug is teasing releasing an album soon. Now, I don't want to say that this is going to delay LAROI or hold him off, but if you look at last summer when Kanye and Drake were going back and forth with Donda and Certified Lover Boy, we saw Tekka keep getting pushed back because no one knew when they were going to drop, and they kind of kept claiming that they were just going to drop every single Friday. We even saw this in 2020 with Ian when Playboi Carti kept coming out and saying that we were going to be getting a whole lot of Red soon, or the speculation just started getting really high during those times. Every time a huge artist like that is about to drop, we see someone from the newer generation, whether it's Ian, Tekka, or maybe in this case LAROI, might be holding off to release just because it's going to be so crowded. We also know that the Juice and X song just leaked, and there's people theorizing that this is going to be releasing either in the last weeks of April or it's going to be releasing in May to coincide with X's documentary. So from the looks of it, May is just looking like a super crowded month. So much stuff is coming, so much stuff is releasing, but I do want to make very clear that I think LAROI has proved that he has a huge dedicated fan base, and LAROI is obviously a hit maker. He can make a hit. So honestly, I think LAROI would be okay with releasing during this time, but I don't know if his label or his management or him himself is even going to want to try and release an album during this time, just because it's going to be so crowded. There's so many big things releasing. I do have faith that LAROI would still sell well and be able to chart well, but with all these other projects releasing, it might be very hard to get that #1 album spot, which is something I'm sure LAROI and his team want him to get. But that's just kind of my thoughts. I think that if LAROI and his team feel comfortable with releasing still, that we will get this album before his tour, and we'll hopefully be able to have the album for the summer. That's best case scenario, and that's still what I want to happen. I'm just saying that we need to keep in mind that this still could be an issue with all these bigger artists releasing. But I want to know what you guys think. Are you excited for 1,000 Miles? Have you listened to it yet? Let me know in the comments down below. If you guys did enjoy, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.